There is a very silent killer among us, also known as ovarian cancer. My very best friend died of ovarian cancer 3 years ago. Today I'd like to share what it is, who it affects, the symptoms, and what people think about it. First, I'm going to start out with what people think about it. In my audience analysis, I focused on 4 things. If anybody knows who has it, if anybody even knows what it is, if anybody knows what the symptoms are, and what people think if they should get the screenings every year or every 3 to 5 years. In my audience analysis, according to everybody, everyone knows what ovarian cancer is, which is good. Some know who have it. Most people agree that it's better to have a screening done sooner rather than later, but there is a group of people that say just do what the doctors think. Most people have a very good understanding on what some symptoms could be, just aren't aware that they're so subtle. I called it the silent killer because of the symptoms. According to Mayo Clinic, ovarian cancer often goes undetected until it has spread within the pelvis and the belly. At this late stage, ovarian cancer is more difficult to treat and can be fatal. Ovarian cancer often has no symptoms in the early stages. Later stages are associated with symptoms, but they can be non-specific, such as loss of appetite and weight loss. To treat this, usually surgery to remove the ovaries or the tumor and chemotherapy are generally used. My grandma did not survive ovarian cancer, which is why this is a very hard topic for me to talk about. But now we want to know who it affects. My grandma was 60 years old. She didn't have any kids, which seems weird. She's not really my grandma, but like practically. But she didn't have any kids, and not having kids can increase your chances of 10 times more to have ovarian cancer. Not saying go out and have kids just so you don't get this, because that's not the mindset people have, obviously, but it does increase your chances tremendously if you do not have kids. Ovarian cancer is a female cancer that begins in the organs that produces the eggs, which is the ovaries. But now we really want to focus on who it affects. My grandma was 60. I have a friend who was 19 that got it. She survived. Luckily, they caught it early enough. Unfortunately for my grandma, she did not. Ages 0 to 2 are very, very rare. 3 to 5 are very rare. 6 to 13 are very rare. 14 to 18 are also very rare. 19 to 40 is rare, which I said my friend did have it when she was 19, so it can happen. 41 to 60 is common, and 60 plus is very common. So we know what ovarian cancer is, who it affects, and the symptoms of it. Also why it's called the silent killer, because you don't really know the symptoms. It's very hard to detect what the symptoms are and what they aren't. There is a very silent killer among us all. Now that we know that ovarian cancer is, you know what it is, who it affects, and what the symptoms are. No one really knows what kind of speed bumps one can come across because some of them are silent. Be careful when you think something in your body is off, because it could be anything. That little pain that you get in your belly sometimes can mean that you have symptoms. Like, you just don't know. You don't know what anything means in your body unless you research it, but like, Google doesn't help you very much. I could never Google my grandma's symptoms and say, oh, yep, she has ovarian cancer. It might just come up as a stomach ache. You never know until you actually go to the doctor. So I would recommend getting checked every year, unless nothing really flares up that, if you don't have any abnormal menstrual cycles or anything like that. But I would really recommend doing the yearly thing, just to be safe. You can be safe about anything. You can get checked about everything. But, yep, now you know what ovarian cancer is.